Good morning, everybody, and happy May the 4th weekend. We've got another Slice a bundle out. I think that's just how things are going to run now. Every Friday during my lunch break, we're going to get some random crazy pack that I have to do a ton of math on. And I want to talk about it for those of you that did not see my mildly flawed Reddit post. We'll think of those as like our beta test for the video from now on, or maybe I'll get them right in the future. We'll find out. So we've got this Slice a bundle, this lovely pack. Again, it comes around once a week or so. I did do a Reddit post, and unfortunately, the thing with Reddit that I've said multiple times is that if you add a picture to your post, you can't edit it, which becomes problematic when you're on your lunch break trying to do things super, super fast on your tiny ass little phone, going back and forth between tabs, and then little things get caught in the crossfire. So like I said before the quick intro break, it's almost like the beta test for what we're doing today. At a glance, prices are a little bit different on the top end. I think the last three bundles, they kind of increased in price throughout, and this is more of a mix going from the medium to the low to the high. Obviously, Zetas are in there, which are really, really nice for many, many, many people. Even at 13 million, I am seeing a Zeta deficit starting to happen, especially with these new clone packs, these new clone characters having two Zetas each, at least so far. At a glance on that second one, there's nothing here that really excites me. Battle computers, they're nice for people in the mid-game. This tends to be the easier to acquire Chirotech. You can get it from the guild store in bundles of 15. I'm not saying that you're not going to feel a crunch, but I am saying that if I were back in the mid-game, I would be more likely to buy this mid-grade bundle if this were still shock prods like we have up top. And then, interestingly enough, all shards in the bottom, which made my life super easy when I was mathing things out earlier. At a glance, it's not that Padme is low tier because she's kind of amazing. But with Naboo ending very soon, I don't see a huge stress on trying to get her. And when we are valuing the shards or the whole character at such a high price, not something that I think I would have been interested in if I didn't have Padme. I feel the same way about Luthen, who has been a staple in my GAC, but still, I don't know if he's somebody that I would end up paying for, at least not until he gets a ship. And then, of course, we have Bane. And Bane is awesome. Like, I get it. If you guys buy this pack and it's specifically just to get Bane, I do completely understand. When you go to .gg, you pretty much, every single counter imaginary has some sort of Bane component to it. I get why it'll excite those people. I do think he's worth the price for you if you are a spender. But I also understand not purchasing this full pack, and we'll break down the actual analysis in a second. Interestingly enough, and I did confirm this on my phone, when we look at these packs on the left-hand side, they really don't correlate at all. I think that there is a built-in like 10% or whatever percent discount it is, even just for buying one. So at US prices, it's actually $9.99, right? $14.99 because you do have to buy the bottom tier if you want to get the middle tier, and $24.99 if you are buying all three tiers. So what does that look like in a spreadsheet view? I got you covered. Right? At a glance, Bottom, well, let's actually just break down how I'm doing this because I've changed it since last time. Our cost here does not correlate to the plus cost. It correlates to the addition in cost per tier. So when we're looking at the value, we are looking at that value in relation to the cost increase, right? With the total cost down here, it really does make it hard to decide how to value these packs as a grouping, just because when we talk about converted value, I could pick anything to go down here, right? So I felt like this was the easiest way to do things. But as a reminder, just because the converted value is higher doesn't mean it's necessarily the thing that you should purchase in order to like penny pinch and get your money's worth. At a glance at the bottom tier, my first thought is Zetas all day, every day. Again, at 13 million, I have 120 left. I have a new clone that is coming out, I believe, who also has 2 Zetas on him. I'm not 100% sure on that. I see a world where even I am going into a deficit. And I know Fat Phil did a video on this a few weeks ago using one of my spreadsheets, and we talked about it. And I do have a lot to add to that discussion that I may do at a later date, but I see this as being the smartest value in the lowest pack. These keypads are great, and if you're in the mid game and you're struggling to get your requirements up, I understand this purchase. But if you're in the late game, honestly, between Duel of the Fates and Peridia Patrol, I would personally skip this, and I did personally skip this. The shock prods, again, for the mid game, I get it. 2 full shock prods is quite amazing. It is a relatively high value. Once you start hitting Zepho, once you start hitting Mandalore, it's not. You're going to start to see those things add up over time a lot quicker. Either way, when we talk about a $9.99 value, if we were to take even just this low-end Gerda keypad converted value, we're looking at a 227% value increase, right? And that's going to increase as we look at the different converted values. So do I think this is a buy? Yes, I definitely do. And I now know a lot of you that have already made this purchase, especially once again for the Zetas. When we go into that mid-gear pack, there's nothing here that really excites me personally. Carbonate circuit boards, very, very low tier value. Bronzium wiring, the value is decently there. And just a quick note, I have these store values here based specifically upon the 500 credit packs. I normally do this by store value, and obviously the battle computer is by store value, but because these can be purchased in such high quantities and they come around every month, I like to consider them store value for relic materials. And I just don't really see a strong value in these when I can purchase them there straight for crystals. Once again, when it comes to battle computers, while all Kyrotech is welcomed Kyrotech, this is the lesser used one. This is the less scarce one. I would never spend the money. I don't think I ever would have spent the money to purchase these. I do understand the people that do it. If we're just looking at raw value here, you're going with battle computers or bronzium wiring, specifically because these carbonate circuit boards are pretty much valued at basically almost exactly what you would see them at from the 500 credit packs. When we look at this cost analysis, we're looking at the battle computers. It's 170% value. Now we can change that over. Just as an example, we're really only seeing a 13% increase in value here, right? And that's kind of something important to keep in mind. Just a quick correction when I say 170 whatever increase in value. It's really a 69% increase in value, but the value is 169% when we talk about those battle computers. And then at the bottom, well, I've already talked about my opinions on what the value of each of these shards is. I personally probably wouldn't buy these unless I were buying Bane. I already have Bane, obviously. I still think it's something I would teeter on unless I was like at 310 out of 30 shards for him. And this store value is based on what you can buy them at in the Conquest Marquee store, which is 120 crystals per shard, giving us a increase or 145% value and a 45% increase in value. So it's not a terrible deal. Again, first glancing this and what I would personally do is buy the Zetas and call it a day, right? There's nothing really else here that calls to me. You may be different. If you have a different opinion, let me know. That's great. I love to hear and learn from other players at different levels of the game. But this is why they pay me 50 cents a video, is to break down the math on everything for you. With all that said, have a great May the 4th weekend, and look out for all the crazy crap, especially these assault battles that are coming up.